Good morning and good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be. Welcome to the HCA Round 3 Losers Bracket, HCA Minors Fall 2023 Tournament, Syndicate versus Alpha. I am joined, as you may have seen on the stream starting soon screen, by not two people because Twist couldn't be arsed to wake up in time. But I'm joined by Ploobs from The Line. Ploobs, how you doing?
What's up, everyone? Taking a break from the back line to do some streaming early morning with Wix.
Happy to have you here. Glad you could make it. Glad you could wake up on time, unlike some people. We got Syndicate and Alpha. We are on SME. We could talk a little bit about the map if you want, but I'm kind of sick of it, to be honest. I've played it a lot lately. I've streamed it a lot lately. What do you think of SME as a map as we're sitting here waiting for the flip to live?
I mean, it's a very commonly played map, as you said. I think it's interesting because you have the dynamic of urban in the center of it, and then you have the open fields all surrounding that. Makes it so depending on the point layout, the match is going to be very different. We played this match in our last HCA game, and we found out that difference between urban and wide open really makes a difference in terms of defense. So
Yeah, I mean, SME is a popular map for a reason, I think, right? Like, it is fairly balanced. It's got the road right down the middle. It's got urban on both sides. It's got open fields on both sides. There's not really a lot that is too imbalanced about it. When you talk about maybe the middle point of SMEs, we're kind of looking over it here. The church, obviously, hard point is around that church. That's skewed to the ally side, but that's, I think, more relevant for opening cap. I think the allies are likely to get that opening cap, but after that, I mean, the map is such that the Axis still have a good chance. So the kind of sum total of all the 3 points is pretty balanced map. That's why you see it a lot. That's why you're going to see it twice this weekend in HCA, and probably regularly going to see it in the rotations, of comp matches. Just to kind of mention what's going on right now is they just did a map flip. And they're testing the vehicles. So you'll see driving around in trucks and tanks and stuff. There was a lot of concern in the match channel for this match between the two teams of server performance. They're playing on a Japanese server. It is an alpha owned server. Syndicate, as you saw on my screen last week on my stream, they had a lot of trouble with the rubber banding on a different server, not this server, but another Japanese server. And so they were concerned that another Japanese server, even if it was tested, would just have performance issues. They did a flip. They're now testing it. And we're going to do or we're going to change servers depending on everyone's experience. So I'm not sure how it's going for everybody. I'm kind of glancing at the chat and not really seeing too much, except Athens is saying that only half the servers spawned in, which isn't going to give you a good test. But that reminds me, I need to ask again who is Artie.
And have they said where the server will be if they decide to not use this server yet?
Yeah, so the plan is if... Oh my god, my name is still TL Nuts. I forgot to change it. Okay. That was from a match we did last night. Yeah, so it's going to be a US West Coast server if we end up having to switch servers. And that actually reminds me, let me jump out of here and jump back in. Sorry, I'm just backing out of the server real quick, change my name, and we'll jump back in. I don't think we're going to miss anything.
We like to keep it professional here.
I just don't want anybody to be confused over who the hell is in there.
And imagine on the Sin side, they're like, "Oh, what's the server for today?" They're just like, just search alpha and pray, you know. Hopefully you get the right server.
There we go, on our way back in with the correct name, I think. And I'm on the right side. They said Scotland was artillery again, so we'll be joining him like we did last week.
So did they played SME last week, right? Against was it GBI?
Yeah, it was Syndicate GBI we streamed last week, and Syndicate was allies. And so one of the big issues, one of the big concerns, just to kind of explain like why it was such a big deal was, and now that everybody's kind of seen it and memed on it a little bit, I don't think I'm going to share any trade secrets, but they had a truck route the Syndicate did for Allies side. So they were coming from this side to get to Hospice that took them out of bounds. And they like went around here and they would come down to Pizza Slice from out of bounds. And if you play the game, you get 30 seconds out of bounds before everybody dies. And they had tested it and tested it and tested it in practice, and they had plenty of time. It wasn't really a concern. But when they got on the server, the rubber banding was so bad that the truck wasn't even traveling the same speed that it
Oh,
does normally. Like literally, like I mean, you can see this in tanks if you ever are on a really rubber bandy server. You can see that like infantry can run faster than your tank if it's rubber banding bad enough. Like the vehicles literally don't move the right speed because they're moving back and forth. And so they lost an entire truck out of bounds on their opening because of the rubber banding. Like they didn't hit anything, they didn't get stuck, they ran the exact same route, and they ended up all dying. And they were kind of pissed about that because openings, getting the opening cap is kind of important, right? So they really didn't want to have that kind of issue again. So there was a lot of back and forth between the teams over uh, where the server would be located. Obviously, in some way, somehow, it's going to be an advantage for somebody. Playing a global tournament, you're going to have issues with server. It's just something you got to live with. But of course, like everybody wants the lag you can't, or the input delay. There's nothing you can do about that. Your ping is going to be different no matter what. But hopefully we can find servers that aren't rubber banding at least.
yeah. I mean, I understand that there is somewhat of a strategy in map banning to deciding whether or not you want to ban the map first or if you want to host the server, but I don't think it's very good for competitive play to be able to weaponize ping. There
Yeah,
has to be a limit on where, you can host the server in some of these matchups. I liked was it seasonals approach where they had designated servers for all of these different matchups based on, Team A's region versus Team B's region.
Yeah, I mean, HCA is the same way. There are rules. There's two kind of philosophy, or well, three different philosophies, I guess you can go with. You can go with finding like the closest middle ground, and for like NA East, which is technically where Syndicate is, even though they have people all over, and China, the like true middle ground is Finland, but neither side likes that. Then the other alternative is you can do a middle ground, but an advantage for one side, and I believe that's the HCA approach. So it's a middle ground in that neither China, it's not hosted in China where Alpha's from, or the U.S. where Syndicate's from. It's actually in Japan, which is a middle ground, but it favors China. If it was a U.S. favored middle ground, it would be U.S. West, and that's all determined by map ban. So I believe Syndicate won the coin toss, and they chose to ban first instead of host, and so that's how you end up with Syndicate having the favor in the server location. I think that's all true. It could all be wrong, but that's how we got. That's how you get the server location. And in HCA, the philosophy is the you know middle ground, but it favors one side.
Well, luckily they got access, so they don't have to run the truck through that open field in the out of bounds this time.
Well, they might have another one. I'm not sure. They could have one cooked up for access side too. We'll see. All right, I think I got the scoreboard right now. Except it's not 3-2. I gotta fix that real quick. There we go, 2-2. Let me get to the midpoint here, which is Hospice again. This is what we saw in Syndicate GBI last week as well. And let's look at the map. So we have on the Syndicate side, Volaville, Western Approach. The midpoint, of course, Hospice. And then on the Allies side, on the Alpha side, Artillery Battery and Le Vieux Verger. French for the Old Orchards. I'm told. What do you think of this point layout?
I think it slightly favors allies, um, defensively because they're not dealing with the offset, to western approach, but that also, I don't think people talk about how porous, the city makes a line. Um, it'll be easy for, Sin to be able to penetrate into that city and get, wrapped down south below Hospice. And I think Hospice is slightly Axis favored for initial cap. That's just personal opinion. It is right in the middle, but I do think Axis has the slight advantage, getting there and maintaining those opening garrisons, because on the Allies side, we have a big wide open field on the, east side of the point that isn't too usable by the Allies there.
All right, so the curtain's down. We'll follow the Alpha side a little bit over here and kind of watch their trucks as they're coming in. See if Syndicate has anything special in mind for them. Just a quick check at the map. So 2 lights, a recon, a medium, 2 recons actually. Looks like they got one going behind the lines, and a supply truck. So an extra light tank, an extra recon tank. On the Syndicate side, I'm not going to try to fly around and find out all what Alpha has, but I see 1 Stewart, 1 medium, a couple trucks. I got the highlights on, so the vehicles will be a little easier to see this time around.
And there's the rocket snipes coming in. A little early on Sin's side. Alpha's hitting a building, not doing much there.
So it looks like everybody's getting to where they're trying to go without any kind of destruction or what's going down. We see a little truck jousting potentially going on up here. Out of bounds. They're gonna. Oh. Okay, Prank versus the Alpha truck there. Upended, out of bounds, and killed. So great job by Prankster there. He gets the truck kill because the guys couldn't keep driving. I guess they were out of bounds too long or something.
Now that's the right way to drive a truck. Are we seeing a second Stewart on Allies?
I'm sorry?
Are we seeing a second light tank on Allies?
Yeah, there was 2. Let's see where they are real quick. We got 1 on Main Road and 1 up here on Pizza Slice. So 1 right underneath us down here and 1 on the Main Road. Cap progress so far, 50% capped for Syndicate.
Something blew up there. Is that just the truck?
Strafing run comes in and catches absolutely nothing. So we'll just take a quick look at the opening tanks. We got the medium here on the back side of the hospital, the hospice, whatever you call this big building. The medium tank for Syndicate is right in the middle road with that Luke's. Oh, sorry, you asked about to show the Syndicate side. I only saw 1 so far. I don't know where the other Stewart might be. Looks like there's 1 right here on Main Road somewhere. Yep, right here is 1 Stewart. Potentially another 1. So this looks like it's going to be a cap for Syndicate right off the bat.
The Stewart might have an angle on that Lux there. Yep, there it goes.
Medium getting aggressive. Is the Panzer IV peeked out? The medium must have been set. The American medium blew up on the main road, not in sight of any tanks, so I'm guessing he was satchelled. It didn't look like there was rockets anywhere nearby. So let's take a look at the map real quick and see what Syndicate's got going on. looks like they're in pretty good position here. They're across the road here in the south. They got a little bit of presence way down by church with some recon. And, yeah, they seem to be in pretty firm control of hospice.
Yeah, they got that garrison network up fast, which you're seeing them dropping supplies down by church. They're gonna try, I think, to scoop out from the south west and into the south of Artillery Battery.
Alright, so I see a lot of blue here on the west side of the road, a little bit on the east side. Doesn't look like Alpha's made it quite across the road very much yet, so... Like I said, Syndicate in good position. Got a making a run down here through Pizza, probably trying to clear some OPs potentially. Doing a little power sliding. You see a little bit of twitchiness, but that's kind of normal when you turn a Lux at full speed. I'm just kind of looking. It doesn't look like there's any rubber banding going on, so hopefully both sides are kind of content with server performance.
Yeah, that looked really badass, so I think maybe a little lag is good for the cinematic elements. The tank driving. What is the... I've always been curious about this. What is the, like, reason that you always see a double Lux on Axis openers? It seems like it's everyone's rollout strategy.
It's kind of been the common thing to do a double light, basically on almost any point, any side now. I mean, the reason is, like, early on, you know, because there's... You know, everybody's coming from the same direction. Like, all of this Alpha guys in this case are coming from the east. Like, the openings are pretty predictable, infantry-wise. And in a lot of cases, tank-wise. So it's really easy to kind of find a good spot that you can stick a light tank and keep it safe from infantry, from enemy tanks, and they can hold down an area. And so, you know, you get the light tank, and you'll see a lot of times they're just kind of static for the first part. You get a light tank in there, you sit it and say, okay, you're going to hold this road, and you're not going to let anybody down this road. Later in games, you can do that as well, but usually your crews are all focused on bringing up heavy tanks, so you don't see it as much. But I think in the openings, everything, you know, you kind of know where the enemy's going to be, so you can find these good spots for light tanks. And it's just protected cap weight also. Like a lot of, like we saw early on, like Syndicate had the medium tank and the light tank on this road right here, and that's 6 people that are not as easy to kill as infantry, and they're going to be inside the hard cap providing, you know, triple weight, right? So that's another thing too, is you can provide a lot of weight from the inside of a tank.
Right.
And it's a small fuel cost. It doesn't really change when your first heavy is going to be available, because the first heavy is not constrained by fuel, or sorry, by fuel. Yeah, it's not by fuel, it's by time. So you're going to get the first heavy up no matter what. It's going to set you back a little bit, but like in the overall scheme of things, most teams seem to think it's worth it.
So is it fuel cost and maybe time for cooldown on the initial spawn why they don't run a second medium then?
Well, the second medium doesn't come up till 4 minutes into the match.
I see.
So by the time you'd get the second medium up, the point would already be capped in most cases.
At that point, you're waiting for the heavy. I see.
It's kind of strange that the medium cooldown is 4 minutes compared to a light tank, which is a minute and a half. You'd think it'd be a little closer, because the medium's only 1 second less than a heavy. But like in terms of value, I think there's a big discrepancy there.
I
So,
mean, you don't see teams spawning mediums in the middle of matches typically.
not smart teams and not if things are going well.
Right.
Gonna jump back onto the map real quick and just see. It doesn't really look like much has changed. This garrison, I think, is kind of new down here, south of Church. Not really anything in terms of Syndicate kind of projecting into the red zone here. You'd like to probably think that maybe at some point they might try to get a red zone Gary, or at least an OP up here to try to get some pressure from artillery battery in the south, but beyond that, it looks like the lines basically hasn't moved since we looked a few minutes ago.
Yeah, Sin losing that garrison in the south. I was saying earlier, this city is so porous, you can easily let an infantry slip through your line. Makes it really hard to maintain garrison.
Yeah, I think
Recon showing they're pretty deep in the south there.
Yeah, I just cast or cursed a fucking garrison, apparently.
Yeah.
This medium's still alive. Opening medium here. Athens not, and Hans. Not really anything around it at this point. It looks like the hospice kind of complex here has been cleared a little bit. A couple guys still in the area. Ooh, we got the first 76s up here. Looks like he's taking a little damage potentially from AT. See where the first Tiger's at. First Tiger's still on his way up. So right now Alpha has a couple minutes of heavy take advantage. Feels like this is our first bombing run. It's going to be an Alpha bombing run.
Listen.
Is it? Did I miss it?
Yeah, right south.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Shit, okay. Great camera work. So I'm not... I mean, I guess you clear out some of these yards down here. I don't know. I don't know what your feeling is. I know you can command sometimes. I don't know that I'm pulling the bombing run out unless my point is threatened or if I think I'm getting a garrison.
Yeah, I mean, you're not picking up OP spawns by dropping a bombing run, so I typically want to know where a spawn is so I can try and cut out a spawn. Or I know I've got a lot of pent up infantry pressure that's waiting to like explode out onto a point, and then I drop the bombing run, clear out the infantry. That gives 20 to 40 seconds of free movement for my infantry, able to quickly push into another point. I think that's what the rationale might have been there, is like, oh, we've got all this infantry on the, what would that be, the west side of the road, and we need to free them up to push east. But you can see Alpha has taken control of this territory here. It wasn't too.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the area right in front of me here where the bombing run went, and it's got just as many people as it really did before. Because like you said, the bombing run's not getting the OPs. We see right in this bush kind of at the center screen next to this tree there's an OP. There's another one back by this trench I've been seeing him spawning at. So, you know, if the OP lives on, then, you know, it's 20 seconds or so, right, before everybody comes back.
Yeah, and you know, I feel like when you see a hospice point, you see this played out time and time again, where you've got east side of the road, west side of the road, fighting across it. The game plan for Alpha for retaking this point is going to be to scoop up on the south, have control of both sides of the road, while maintaining that front door pressure so they don't get capped on their fourth point. And Sin just needs to somehow wrap their way out of this, I think. You can see a couple of their guys going on the whammo journey over there. They gotta find a way to put pressure on fourth.
So right now it's just a recon spotter working their way back. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I think you kind of expect to see maybe they're trying. I don't know. We haven't been paid too much attention, but I'd expect to see some presence deeper from regular infantry squads just trying to mess with the back lines, potentially get an OP up, and start to pressure from the south. I don't know if that's not being prioritized or just not hasn't been successful yet. Could have a potential engagement here as the first Tiger, Bebo SBK, and the Beer Badger seem to be aware of the 76 down the road, but they're going to try to here. You probably see him through the hedge. Looks like he's tracking him. Oh, he did get a hit on him right before he got behind the hedge. Nice shot. 76 does escape. So that's our first tank-on-tank engagement that we've seen. Tiger's gonna push, maybe. And you look at the infantry around there, I think you can see why he feels pretty comfortable there, but I think the 76 is gonna escape.
I mean, it looks like Sin might have a chance to break out here a bit on their on the front door into next point.
Yeah, they seem to have made some real good progress here.
Looks like the medium is gonna try and clear OPs or something at this shed, although he gets stuck on a tree. That might have killed that.
Kind of go back to the top here and just kind of look, because we've kind of been in this view a lot just to provide a comparison. I think you made a good point. It looks like there has been a pretty good clear out of a lot of the town here for Syndicate. Where did the Tiger go? Did he push forward? Oh, he's still right here. I think that was the medium that went down. Yeah, they were probably out of ammo. Looks like we have, this is another 76, so now we have two 76s. We have one kind of in the middle over here, and then one to the left in the wheat field. And I think the one on the left is a new one coming up that killed the Panzer IV. I didn't see what happened, but the Tiger's moving back like he's a little bit less secure. If it indeed was a second 76, he has legitimate reason to be worried.
Yeah, for allies, it's tough because the German faction with the STG has, I think, a pretty clear advantage in the city portion of this, so it's difficult to consistently win your fights as you're fighting in these backyards. They really kind of do need these 76s just to take out their Tigers and be able to support an overwhelming push into hardpoint from the front door.
Oh my god, did you see that guy just get yeeted over the greenhouse?
Yeah, I saw that guy. Wonder what killed him. Now, and Alpha's gonna have a guy probably on the chimney to the, yeah, that is the machine gunner.
This Tiger might be in trouble. Why don't they back off? So I wonder, it looked like maybe he was gonna get shot by both 76s, but I'm not quite sure what happened that caused the second one to back off. Well, he's gonna pull back forward. Is he? They traded shots. The Tiger hit the fence, though. It looked like the Tiger got hit, but he didn't die, so I don't know what's going on here. Now he dies.
Shot went to Torres. Good play by Alpha there.
Yeah, I don't know if they... It's tough to tell where the hits were coming, but obviously that 76 took a chance and re-peeked him and was rewarded with the kill. So we said that a minute ago about how Syndicate had cleared out the sector, but we do have cap progress now for Alpha and a considerable amount of red on the west side now, which we hadn't really seen before.
This, I think, is the trap of hospice, where your defending infantry on Axis side gets caught in that eastern garden, and they can't really move back into the hard point. This engineer from Sin is going to have an opportunity to run back here and clear OPs.
We're always on the lookout for fine Swedish craftsmanship from Baby Burn. So if you do see any IKEA-like structures out there, call him out and let's take a look at what he's up to.
This week, Baby Burn has access to the Belgian gate, so I know he's cooked up something good.
So that was an alpha bombing run. Looks like they're trying to clear the way for these guys right in here to push in, and it looks like it may have worked. We'll see if there's a spawn wave that comes back. Looks like there's an OP down here. The cap progress is coming. It had been being decapped by Syndicate, but it looks like the cap progress is now back on for Alpha. Although we have seen a bit of a response from Syndicate, some more people coming back to help clear out the area.
Yeah, Alpha was able to get this northern courtyard around the mansion here cleared out. That's going to give them a lot of freedom of movement around the strong point. Where are their tanks? If their tanks could support this push, then Sin would really be in trouble.
So we have a Tiger kind of right underneath us here on north of Hospice. It's the only heavy that's up right now. The second one is being loaded.
Tiger just took a hit, or was that a Rick?
No, he looked like it was a hit. He is damaged. Well, the 76 out in the field. Not a lot of hard cover in this area. He's got to be real careful where he stops, because if they see him, some of these bushes you can shoot through.
Not good for Tiger.
Oh, looks like a turret shot. I'm not sure. The Tiger must have taken a track shot originally, because I believe he just took one in the hole and he didn't die. Is this another 76 on its way up? Oh, it's just a supply truck.
A stuck supply truck.
Glad I flew all the way back there for that. So the cap progress has completely gone away, but Alpha's really taken up a much stronger position now than they had before all of that. So we do have an airhead. I'm assuming this is an Alpha airhead.
It is.
Landing front door here in Gardens. Seems like they have good control. Hard to see how Syndicate could take care of that. 276s in the area. Alpha definitely sees an opportunity here. They definitely think they have a chance. It looks like this Tiger's going to re-peak. I don't know if this 76 is ready. 76 gun is not in the right... Oh, they can't see each other. There's a wall in the way.
I still think dropping it, like, that southern garden there, I think is kind of a trap. You get this false confidence that you have a lot of access to the rest of the point, and really don't have that much.
Tiger's making a play here. We're just going to watch this. I don't want to focus too much on the tanks, but we are going to see the Tiger sees the 76. Should have a turret shot. 76 gets the first shot. Tiger shoots. I'm not sure what the Tiger shot, but the Tiger's now dead.
Whoa, Alpha gets the second. There's precision strike.
Stuka missed the other 76. That might have been a big play if the Tiger gets the kill on the 76 and the Stuka hits. I'll be honest though, the Stuka is super fucking busted right now. The Stuka doesn't kill shit unless it absolutely 100% directly hits it. So keep that in mind if you're ever relying on the Stuka to kill anything.
And won't it just clear the turret if you hit directly on top of the tank? It won't even kill the tank, just blow the turret.
No, it'll kill if it hits right on the top. Basically, if it takes a body shot, it dies. If it hits the ground, it does. The tank will live. So we got 276s. We got an airhead. It looks like the airhead has been identified because there is artillery landing on it. But I did see a spawn wave. I think most of these guys over here got off on a spawn wave, so it is possible to survive this airhead. Although you see this OP mark is probably the indication of where they think the airhead is, and the arty's close enough. Although it might be killing its own guys too. So 276 is near the hard point. We saw the Tiger. We'll check in a moment. The only Tiger for Syndicate coming up from spawn.
There it is.
Yeah, just coming onto our screen here on the right. But with 276s lurking, they got to be careful. I mean, you want to keep that Tiger alive, even at the expense of not killing these 76s, I think. Not a great position to be in. Multiple Tigers, or multiple heavies for the other team against a single heavy for you. Although Syndicate, I mean, look at the response now from where we were even just a few minutes ago. They've responded, and it looks like they've kind of won their gunfights in the city and started to push Alpha back. And you can just kind of see, you can kind of tell a little bit about how Alpha thinks it's going just by where their tanks end up. Their tanks are backing up, whereas a couple minutes ago they were pulling forward. So that tells you what Alpha thinks of their position here. They definitely see that the attack initiative has kind of softened a little bit here.
Yeah, Alpha wasn't able to clear out Syn's spawns, both the garrison and the OPs on that west side of the road.
So there is now this might be the first time we've seen a infantry OP all the way down this far for Syndicate. Still not seeing any kind of pressure on artillery battery yet. Looks like the Tiger in the wheat field took a rocket from a Alpha 18. 76 going territory. Obviously thinks he has a chance here. I guess the AT guy hit something that got called out, and this guy's saying just gonna face check him here. Tiger's ready. They trade shots. 76 was probably hoping that one shot would kill the Tiger, but it's not gonna happen. And the 76 just
that was not a good play.
I don't know what the call was there. I imagine the AT guy was like, yeah, I got a rocket in him, and one rocket plus one heavy shot equals a dead heavy. So he must have thought that this Tiger was one hit, and either the AT guy was wrong, or they repaired enough that they were able to tank that shot and not die. So very fortunate for Syndicate not to lose that tank, and very unfortunate for Alpha that, man, I don't know. Just kind of drove off and chasing a heavy tank kill and lost his tank. I mean, I don't know. Even if the information was there, that's still kind of a, I don't know. That's still kind of a silly play, if you ask me.
It reminds me of when we played Alpha in Helios and they rushed their 76 to our 4th point, and it ended up costing them the game. We were recapping SME because of it.
Yeah. Like I said, probably some information there, but either was good information, was outdated information, or I don't know. Gunner missed the shot. I'm not sure. I don't even know what just.
artillery is falling on that tank.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah.
So we got this Tiger. I don't want to focus. I'm gonna get yelled at for watching tanks too much, but the infantry aren't really moving. So here, let's watch another tank battle. That's a missed shot. It looks like he hit a fence or something, or hedgerow. 76 does not miss. Tiger hits on the second shot. But now they're going to back up into their graveyard of repair stations with tank sip and repair.
That encounter earlier, I think, is a perfect example of why you always leave someone on the gun when you're trying to repair your tank.
Oh yeah, for sure. Usually you're going to try to get by with one and maybe a infantry engineer. You know, sometimes you'll do two. You got to be real desperate to call in a. You got a precision strike. Miss.
Oh, just miss it.
It's really, you got to be real desperate to call for a triple repair, and it looks like Athens just died to artillery, as he was probably about to get back in his tank. Although I think they just repaired that and then got damaged by the precision strike. Unfortunate.
What's our garrison network look like for Sin?
They got the one we've seen
Pretty
up here,
solid.
Pizza Slice. They got the one in the common spot back there, and then one southwest. I think that's pretty typical. That's a good layout for hospice there. They got this one reestablished way down here, but still, I'm surprised. Nothing over here, nothing extending out. Like I said, I don't know if that's deliberate. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're like, we're just going to sit here for the 3-2. Or maybe they're trying and they're just getting pushed out. I mean, maybe we can take a peek at that area and kind of see what's going on. Because not a whole lot has been happening up here. I mean, we can take a look at this default view here, and it's pretty similar to a lot of what we've been seeing for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah, from Sin's perspective right now, you just want to do whatever you can to relieve some of that pressure on hospice. Otherwise, it's just never-ending brawl across that main road there. Looks like Alpha is successfully scooping across the road in the south. See if they're able to push up north and put pressure on that back line. If they can clear the spawns, then it's actually trouble.
I do kind of want to take a look down here and see, because I don't see a whole lot of Alpha presence in this area. There are a couple squad leaders I see. 3 squad leaders, in fact. One by the church and a couple down below. But not a lot of presence for Syndicate either. Just 2 SLs, and they've had some recon in this area too.
Yeah, when you look at the garrisons for Sin, you notice that they've slowly moved their southern garrison more and more south as Alpha keeps finding it, but that's basically what you gotta do, is put it wider for defense to allow your infantry to pinch up, and that'll make it hard for Sin to maintain a strong push because their spawns are getting cleared from behind all the time.
Very, very quiet around the church compared to up here. As you'd expect, but I'm going to keep mentioning it. Surprised there's not a whole lot going on down there. Looks like we've had some shots traded between the Tiger and the 76 on the hedge line over there. They cleared up their dead repair stations. Looks like they're trying to get a new one up. I'm going to pull up the score screen real quick because I saw in chat someone was asking, they wanted to see what the ping differential was like. And you look at Alpha, I see a few people below 100, a lot of people around 100, mid 100s, compared to Syndicate on the other side. They're in the high hundreds, even into 200s and 300s. A few over 300, Jesus. So that's
a big difference.
Yeah, that's going to be a significant difference, or a significant advantage for Alpha, especially when you get into the tight city fighting, right? You're going to get, you know, up to, it looks like, a fifth of a second extra time.
I saw, you know, Sin earlier in chat was joking they'd have Peeker's advantage.
So we have 2 Tigers here. We can see one sitting on the left.
Oh my god. That'll probably be an Alpha. How much damage do these bombing runs put on heavy tank?
That's a good question. The answer is you never fucking know. You really don't. Sometimes a bombing run goes over you and not a whole lot happens. This one, it looks like, got track damage, which is the most common. When you see a bombing run go over a heavy tank like that, a lot of times they lost their tracks. So you'll see he's probably not able to shift now. He's probably first gear only because he lost all his track health. But I say that you never know because bombing runs can kill full health heavy tanks. They absolutely can. It's not common, but it does happen. So it's like you just cross your fingers as the bombing run comes over, as we see the heavy tank of Athens, Na, and Hans get the kill on that 76 finally out there. Yeah, you never know. It could be nothing. Could be tracks. You could die. You know, flip a coin, roll a die. Who the fuck knows?
That's good to know. I actually didn't know that. I'll roll the dice more often, I think, with bombing runs over heavies now that I know it can kill them.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it. I'll be honest, I've played a lot of tank in my days. I have died 3 times ever to bombing runs. And this is unconfirmed, but a little inside information. I believe this is what I believe. People can agree or disagree. If a tank is moving, it seems to be more likely to die to a bombing run. Why? I have no idea. We watch the tanks trade shots. The Tiger with the Ricochet, the 76 tank. I'm definitely gonna get yelled at for watching tanks too much, but look at the map, man. Like nothing else is happening.
Yeah.
76 Ego Chow.
Tiger, this is how they lost their last one.
The Tiger's gonna hide in a corner here because he knows he's getting pushed. 76 is like, what the fuck? Where did he go? Probably expecting to see him just backing straight up on this road.
And that's how you make a tank disappear.
Meanwhile, the Tiger has found a little cubby hole. That's great job by them to kind of get in there. Yeah, we'll see if he decides to press his luck. The Tiger is getting repaired, though, so they have to hurry, or he's not going to be a one-hit kill. Whoa, that was a weird turn. This is kind of awkward. Oh, the Tiger survived the shot! Who got it first, though? Hold down mouse 1.
They're both mashing their mouse.
This was trying to maybe block. He probably should have jumped in front of the tank instead of on it. But... So the Tiger gets his little hidey hole found out.
That was...
And while that was happening, now I'm really gonna get in trouble. Look at this. Where did all the blueberries go?
Well, they were probably panicking, dealing with that heavy tank, you know, rushing to try and do something.
The garrison up north went down. This Tiger may have gotten satchel. I just saw a dead assault player next to it. Yeah, there is a satchel on this Tiger.
Losing both Tigers in 30 seconds. The situation has suddenly changed for Sin here.
And now this one has an assault guy chasing him. Doesn't look like he's been able to get the satchel on her. Why would he still be chasing him? It looks like there's been a response from the southern garrison of Syndicate. We do see it has gone a little bit more in their favor. It's now going back for Alpha.
You have both heavy tanks in the point for Alpha right now. I think this is a cap for Alpha.
It,
My,
it certainly looks like that. I'm gonna pull up the map just real quick and see. Yeah, the closest garrison. So we did see one up here. We did see one in the southwest of the hard cap. This is the only one right now. So you see the big spawn wave. A lot of squad leaders coming back. They're gonna try to get their OPs down, probably in the field, and try to just flood numbers in to see if they can save it. But I think you're right. This is really looks like a cap for Alpha.
if this heavy can cover this north open strip of land here, I mean, Sin's not gonna be able to get back into hard cap.
Syndicate has a tiger on the way. You can see him on the right side of the screen on the road. Not going to be in time to save it. We're going to see...
Ooh, 76 goes down middle of point.
Yeah, that's... I think if you're Alpha, you take that, though, right? Like, that tank, they did their job. The tanks were there when the infantry, you know, got the push going. And they did their job. You lost to 76... but sometimes it's the cost of doing business.
Yeah, and I think you've seen more kills in general for the 76s. You got 2 already on the north side of point here.
Yeah,
if
so
I'm
they're
Alpha,
not...
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they're not gonna lose the tank advantage by losing that one because they got the 2 earlier, right? So the 1 Tiger's coming up. They already have 2 76s here, whereas Syndicate is rushing to get 1 heavy, 1 medium.
You know, if you're Alpha right now, you want to try and box out Sin wherever you can, and make the fights be more long distance so that the STG is not so much of a factor. Are they pressuring 4th point? It looks like they're pushing the city at least.
Looks like there's a few guys here, but they're way outnumbered by Syndicate. Syndicate had a real strong response to Western to make sure they didn't get double capped. Imagine losing your midpoint on SME and then immediately losing your second point.
Oh god.
I can't imagine what that's like. We'll check the map real quick. Syndicate lost their garrison up here in the north. I'm not sure what took that down. Maybe a tank, probably. One of these tanks on the road. I mean, that's the most well-known garrison spot, probably an SME. May have just taken a blind shot and got it, but that's why they're all at Western. There is no front door garrison right now. It looks like Item might be waiting for a support or something. Some of these guys got to backtrack and get some garrisons up here so they can maintain pressure on Auspice.
Yeah, if I'm Item Squad, I'm laying down waiting to get supplies there because it is a bitch to push back to that spot for sure. Open fields all around.
So I see 176 here. I don't know where the other one went. Although I do see Baby Bird in chat calling 76 down on Hospice. So I wonder if he or somebody got one of the 2 that we saw here. That would be kind of a big play. Although I don't see it anywhere, so even the corpse. I mean, look at this already. There's very, very little Syndicate presence here on the reset. Although we just...
Yeah, they just have that northern wheat field on the north side of it. A lot of their OPs there. If Alpha is able to maybe even just run a tank along that, they would relieve all that pressure.
That giant satchel goes up. We're starting to see him kind of come in. I'm guessing they still haven't got a garrison, but it looks like they're about to get one up there. Cluster here. I guess they figured out where this garrison is.
Bet I know where artillery's gonna fall next.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see the artillery marked the garrison right where the cluster of infantry was. So he's paying attention.
And who's dropping smoke already here? It's interesting.
76 looks like he's staring down. I believe that's a tiger all the way back here. Oh, he's found him. Oh, there's an AT gun as well. AT gun 2 shots, but the 76 missed. Does AT gun have another shot? He missed. I think they were turret shots from the AT gun anyway. And with the repair station, that's not going to be a 3-shot kill for him.
I bet you'll find baby burns for AT gun over there.
Repair station did get destroyed by artillery. Looks like the AT gun went down too. Although, for some reason in the new update, AT guns do not explode anymore. .76 takes a shot from the Tiger. He's got him dialed in. Tiger looked like a non-pen. The 76 has got to get out of there. He's going to die. Ricochet off the side of the turret. Unfortunate.
Oh, man. Almost saw 76 go down there.
Took another shot. I don't think you can really see him anymore, though. They had the double tap set up, and it looks like the Tiger just missed their shot by a little bit.
How many AT gun hits does it take to kill a 76?
To the hull, it would be 3. I don't think the AT gun could see or hit the hull, but with a repair station next to it, it's going to be more because it's exactly 3 shots. Like 3 AT gun shots take out exactly, almost exactly, not quite, 1 hull hit, 1 hull health of a 76. So with the repair station repairing, by the time you get that 3rd shot off, enough has repaired that a 3rd shot's not enough. So I think it's 4 hits in that case. But that AT gun was hitting the turret, which with a repair station, it's like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
76 over peaks. But also credit the Tiger. The Tiger had relocated, so I thought he was a little bit safer here than he was, because the Tiger used to be over to the left a little more. So a good kill there to remove the 76. 76 not really in a great position there.
Sin's able to maintain these north spawns here. Is our situation in the south changed at all?
You look at the map. We have the garrison back up and the wheat field present still. Let's look at south by church or south by western.
I mean, it looks like both teams are past each other here, with Sin going for the southern retake on Hospice. This is pretty common, but Sin having squad leads at their front door. I don't like this situation defensively. You know, that means if your defense spawns get cleared, and there's 3 squad leads on defense here, but if those spawns get cleared, your situation changes really, really quickly. The Alpha Commander is laying in Western approach, so this is interesting.
Oh, he heard me.
Oh no. You definitely have cursed this guy. His death is imminent. Maybe.
He's doing some on the ground reconnaissance.
This is some real Chad commandering here. Gonna maybe clear the EMG.
What's he doing? I mean, he's got to know the MG's up there. Oh, worst guitarist hears him now. Uh-oh. Oh, he escaped.
No, not for long. Oh, man.
What kind of hip fire range does worst guitarist have with the MG42? Uh-oh, he lost him.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, he went down to... What was it? It was another MG or something that killed him. Alpha Commander went down. Sounded like an MG, but I don't see where the MG was. Oh, we got a We got a little steward back here. Yep, gotta stop. Gotta make sure you get that truck. You don't know what Syndicate's capable with that truck stuck in a trench. Stewart gonna get a little help on the spin
takes a
here.
rocket.
Takes a rocket for the transport truck. Let's see Meme Star. Here's his moment to shine. And he turrets it with the second shot at a range of 50 meters. And then he goes down. Probably an OP nearby, seeing Mick there, so I'm sure that Meme Star's going to be back with some more rockets pretty soon. Don't really want to focus on too much random shit like that. As fun as it is. This isn't supposed to be fun. This is a business. Let's check back in on Hospice. A lot of red, not a lot of blue. That would be good for the people in red, Alpha, and bad for the people in blue, Syndicate.
Alpha's gonna probably clear a lot of OPs on this north here if Sin can't stop.
I think we already saw one cleared right there, right next to Vol who went down.
Spotter versus squad lead.
Lil White with the Car 98. Not able to take down the Alpha player. Let's see what they got. Yeah,
They cleared it.
They cleared the north hedge line through the wheat field. There is one OP still up, and the one garrison. Really should be a garrison here as well. There's no reason to pin all your attack on one garrison there.
I don't know. Personal opinion, the garrison in that spot you showed is usually, I think it's pretty useless.
It's a shit garrison, man. But like, so what? You're then shift your network so you got like the one here, and then I don't know where the fuck you put one down here. There's no good spots here. Well, we can all agree on that, right? You got like you might as well put one up there though. If not there, like sometimes back here can be a little safer. Like yeah, I agree, it's shit, but you got one launch garrison. Why?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it's better than nothing, right?
So it looks like Syndicate has 2 Tigers back up here. Not a lot of infantry in this area though, so I don't know.
35 minutes left in the match. It's not looking good for Sin. Alpha has the time to set up an offense here, I think, and that's actually what you're seeing. Starting to get some more pressure on the front door of Western Approach.
I mean, just look at the town is absolutely clear of blue players. Almost completely clear of all players. Plubes, how the fuck do you get on this roof?
I don't know, man. That's
I have.
Can you get in that house to the?
No. What? Maybe. I'm looking for any. They didn't build anything.
That looks like it could have been an elevator glitch.
I have never seen anybody on this roof. Somebody ban this guy. Look at him. He's going. I'm just kidding, but somebody ban this. He's going through this little chimney here. How did he even get up there? Maybe
You
from
can
this
see
roof?
from the footage that his entire ass is encompassed by the chimney at a certain moment.
Like you can get on from the wall, and
Maybe
then
he's climbing the lights there on the outside.
I don't know, man. I don't see anything that is high enough to vault onto this roof.
That one's gonna be reviewed post-match, I think.
Somebody in chat tell me how you get on this roof. I will drop secrets all day on stream, but you guys got to give me some secrets too. Get me on this roof. I'm not a good infantry player. I need to know shit like this in order to get kills. Credit to that guy. On that roof. He's not shooting anything, but someday maybe...
I mean, he can cover that whole west, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah, it's a sick fucking spot, for sure. Yeah. I mean, if there was anybody on Syndicate anywhere near Hospice, he would be machine gunning them. But the reality is that there's really not. I mean, they're pushed back to their one garrison up here, basically, which is not coincidentally where Artie's falling. Seriously, how do you get on this roof? I'm gonna switch teams, going to Prox chat, and then learn Mandarin, and ask this guy how you get on this roof. But then I'd have to learn whatever he says back to me in order to understand. Or I'll record it and ask Covenant, who supposedly speaks Mandarin. Although he could just say that. I mean, just saw. What was this? Was this a Tiger? Or was this just a Panzer IV, I think. Panzer IV goes down the main road. Covenant says that he speaks Mandarin, but nobody's been able to verify that.
He does.
How do you know?
Well, okay, I guess he typed it in the screenshots I've seen. But...
Yeah, and I've typed it in by copying and pasting Google Translate.
Yeah.
You saw the old classic medium on medium battle in the middle of the game right on the main road here. Going in favor of Alpha. As we're kind of watching. This seems to be more the focal point of action at this point. You got the north map edge wheat field, and then you got this fighting in the town between Western and Church.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Alpha right now, you want to put as much pressure on the south here as possible so that Sin is unable to take the time to put more pressure on Hospice, right? You want to make them have to commit more to defense to run the clock out, basically. I think both teams are playing for a 3-2 at this point.
Yeah, Western looks pretty secure at the moment. I'm gonna just kind of take a glance around and see. We do have a one squad leader down here in the south, but really that's it. I mean, all of the backlines here are clear. It's been a really, for both sides, they haven't really been getting very deep on their opponents.
Yeah, I'm more surprised that Sin didn't commit more to Whammo than they did. It's less surprising for me for Alpha because I feel like the doctrine for Chinese teams is basically unyielding front door pressure, right? But with Sin, I would have maybe expected to see them with a Whammo garrison while they controlled Hospice to try and get more pressure onto Artie Battery.
Just do a quick map check. Last week I had the stats up here on the map page. A lot of people like that. This server they're playing on isn't set up for CRCon, so I wasn't able to do that this week. In case anyone's wondering, I would like to have that up, but the server wasn't able to support that. Just a quick programming note there. Starting to see Syndicate in these south buildings now a little bit more. Now this area is kind of mixed where you have like the main front line kind of over here, but Syndicate's a little bit north as well. East as well. This area's really kind of all mixed up. Check back in on Hospice. See if much has changed. Yeah, much has changed. Alpha has completely cleared out the front door for Syndicate. Basically. The garrison they had up here at the top of the map is gone. We see now the 76s for Alpha are in the positions where Syndicate Tigers used to be. And Syndicate is now basically pushed all the way back to route to harass.
Yeah, and this is it's really not fun to push these lanes here. Basically wide open field, not too much cover.
Yeah, the hedge lines here you can kind of see. All the hedge lines go east-west for the most part. Between this road and the next road, there are a couple small sections of north-south. It's a lot of east-west, and you can see if you were to north side and run along here, well, there's 2 fucking tanks looking at you. So that's probably not going to go well for you. So if you go on this side, what's going to happen is you're probably just going to die to infantry. So pick which one. Epic Walrus has chosen to lay on the ground and do what he can to soften the infantry presence. Good shot. He's going to try to move up a little bit now. And this is what it'll be like. It'll be moving up along the hedgerow and hoping nobody notices you and shooting people when you can. He's making good progress.
Let's see what this man's fate is.
Oh.
Nope.
What the?
Like,
What
the fate of many other
What?
many other syndicate
how did
soldiers.
he?
I'm pretty sure MG in the 3-story
Oh
house.
yeah. Okay. So there you
And
go.
that one MG is gonna really be able to lock down this front door.
Yeah.
You can see the squad lead stuck behind that hedge. That's
Razor with the spawn on the other side of the hedge. In this case, actually a little bit fortuitous. Able to get a shot into the back of the 76. You know what that's probably going to do, though, is call attention to the 76 to the fact that there's an OP right next to him.
yeah, that's. Ooh. I didn't even know that guy died. Must have been someone further back.
So this OP's still up, so they are getting a spawn there. AT and Assault, I'm sure, with a satchel. Trying to see what they can do about this tank.
This would actually be a great time for a smoke artillery.
That rocket was a bit high. 76 backed into a hedge line here. Surprised they haven't identified that there's an OP there. A shell that comes around this corner should be able to get it, but they're just not. Just not hitting it in the right spot, I guess. Looks like there's a. Is this a Tiger back here? Looking to get in on the action. Yep, he's looking for the 76, I'm sure. Trying to bail out his boys.
It's amazing to me how long of a distance that comp tankers play.
Yeah, I mean it's a function of the information that you get in a match is going to be a lot better. The rule you kind of live by playing in these matches is that you should expect that you're called out 100% of the time. Because if you think about it like in a pub, right, there's people with no mics, people that don't give a shit to mark tanks, and squad leaders that won't mark tanks, and people that won't call out. You know, there's a lot of shit that has to happen for you to get an accurate mark on a tank. In a comp match, obviously, there's 49 people on each team that want to mark every single tank that they see, and 19, 20 squad leaders that will immediately place a mark. So precision strike looks like it missed. Looks like it damaged him but didn't kill him. So what that means is, you're not going to get tanks sneaking up on each other a lot of the time. It extends the distance at which you have to engage. Like, this is it's not a big hill, but it is sloping towards the Axis side. And that's why from here you can see almost into the Axis tank spawn. And it's what makes it a pain in the ass when the Allies hold hospice, is because your tanks have to move up across this, wide, flat, very minorly sloped area in order to get to hospice, and they're just going to sit a tank right here the entire time. That's going to just control these fields and make it really hard for you to get up. We'll kind of reset to the default view here that we've been kind of going back to on hospice, just to kind of look at the state of hospice, the midpoint we have here. Not a lot of blue near it. A little bit of presence to the south. Real steel kind of wandering in the backyards. I'm going to pull up the map in a second, because a lot of syndicate by Western, and that's really the only area that I see any kind of large numbers. Some still coming from Route de Harras. They're kind of maintaining a line here, but I'm not sure that they're really making progress. You got some recon way back here.
How is Alpha looking around church? Because that's what's really boxing them in right now. Actually pretty light. If I was Sin, I'd push wide here and sweep up all the way to farmhouse, I think.
Farmhouse you're talking about here, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you want to clear their spawns on the back line in order to be able to push from the south.
So this garrison just had about a 10-person spawn wave, and there is some syndicate guys in the area. Geez, on snipers. Looks like this garrison's gonna go down. Fignaldo from Fortnite. He's gonna take down the garrison. Is he gonna win the gunfight? No. Is the garrison gonna be immediately replaced? Yes.
Yes.
The thing is, though, Fig hadn't redeployed, so he should know that. He should have heard that.
Right.
If he's paying attention. If he wasn't, like, tabbing out or whatever. So they should know that there's a garrison right back there. He should have heard it. And we do have the OP. Original K's OP is right here. So it looks like this Alpha squad leader is going to try to protect this garrison. But there is a decent number of syndicate players here that are circling. So there goes the OP, but also there goes the garrison. So can you build it again? So that should cut off a lot of the front door pressure from Alpha, but you see they're already coming from further east.
The squad lead's killing it right here. And he's winning a lot of gunfights. Oh.
Oh, you cursed him.
Oh.
So we have a Tiger now on Western holding this. Athens and friends. So they got that garrison, but Alpha's really already... Looks like they reset on a garrison a little further back and have taken a lot of that ground back. Gonna do another map check here real quick. We're at, what, 20 minutes left? 19 minutes left? It's not looking very good here. There is a garrison up on front door here. That actually is some progress, because they were fighting from this garrison. Now they've cleared it enough to get to this garrison, and we'll go up and look at that area in a second. But I mean, here's the active cap sector for midpoint, right? And there's nobody from Syndicate in there right now except for Killswitch. And okay, the garrison right there, but just no control really near that area. They kind of are on the periphery of it, but nobody really in sector, and that's a lot of ground to make up in 17 minutes. Especially when I don't know what the entire tank situation is, but I know that if anybody's winning it, it's probably not Syndicate. It doesn't seem like it's like too far one way or the other, but I do see 276s sitting up here, so I don't
Yeah,
think.
I mean, you see in the chat Phil saying one tank crew went infantry due to fuel, right? Don't know how long ago exactly that was, but that's not a great picture for their tank situation.
Yeah, so probably an indication that Syndicate is, or yeah, Syndicate is behind. So that's, I mean, that's just going to make it even more tough, right? Like you can overcome a little bit if you got a bunch of tanks that you can roll in. It doesn't look like that's the situation for them. So this is pretty dire, I would say. A lot can happen in 15 and a half minutes. It's just going to be tough. Basically, you're going to have to see Alpha make a pretty big mistake here to fumble the ball. And it looks like the garrison that I said they made some progress to get it up on front door. That garrison is going down.
Yeah, they infantry looks like they rocketed that one out. As I watched that drop instantly, outgoing red. That squad just getting completely destroyed.
Yeah. If, this is where I said there should be a garrison in this area generally, and SOP is not faring well, obviously. From both sides, so it looks like this might get wiped unless the spawn wave comes in to save it. No. So that was the closest OP they had to Hospice, I believe. Just got wiped. Syndicate looks like they've cleared mostly to the road. Is it the same guy as before? It's a different squad leader infiltrating here. But for the most part, they've cleared almost to the road. No presence of any kind really at church here. So we got a 76 here to go along with the two, I think, that are still up north. There's a Tiger down this road. Haven't watched a tank engagement in a little while, so maybe we can catch one here. Looks like the 76 hit the Tiger. Oh, he killed the Tiger. Sorry, that was a Panzer IV.
Tiger on the right there.
Nope, that was a Panzer IV. The Tiger's right here. That's my bad. I knew there was a Tiger in the area.
Ooh, and part of the squad going down from the squad lead in the north here. Not a good timing for that as they are getting pushed by the 76. Oh, this is gonna be... It's gonna be good.
Oh, and you know that this squad leader is calling out to the tank commander exactly what's going on. Is he going to be able to get a hit before they get around the corner? Maybe in the turret? He does, actually. So what are you going to do now? Because if he hits a turret again, you're dead. He's not turning the gun! Turn the gun! Turn! There you go. There you go.
That was a fumble by Alpha, I think, but it looks like the AT might mop it up here.
Oh, Fig going for the save. We have another AT guy. He is the satchel variety. If he splashes a wall, maybe? Nope, too late. The satchel is down. Yeah, I think it's just probably the Alpha tank not realizing or not appreciating that the Tiger could shoot over the wall and hit his turret. They were probably expecting to be able to drive up right on him. I mean, still, that's kind of a dicey proposition. But we've seen Alpha's tank get aggressive, but you know, Na did a great job to get the turret as early as possible, and the Alpha tank was obviously caught by surprise because they weren't able to get back in time. 2 turret shots will kill you. Same as 2 hull shots. So functionally a trade, though. I mean, like the Syndicate tank was basically a sitting duck with the crew all killed except for the gunner. So it was just a good job to get that 176 out of there. And you look, I mean, this area is pretty handily in control of Syndicate. So let me check the map again real quick. Yeah, look at. So this is good. This is good progress. They have kind of cleared out this main intersection area. It looks like there's some red OPs down here. So not completely, but they have a lot of control of the south area. Unfortunately, the west is still a work in progress. We'll say. The back garrison here went down. They might be trying to get a new garrison up there. So this is, good progress if they can get pressure from the south, pressure from the west, roll a couple tanks in. They do have 2 Tigers up here. And we know the 176 went down, so if they still have the 276s up here, you at least have tank parity. And so now a 3rd Tiger's coming. So this could be the time for a real aggressive push once they get these tanks set up.
Yeah, they're gonna have one shot here. What is the alpha situation with tanks up north?
They have one right here. There was one on the main road. This one's in a battle with a Tiger at distance here. Let's see if we can find another one.
You see Alpha really committing a lot more to defense here. They've put a bulk of their forces in the south of the hard point.
Precision? Sounds like a... Oh, it's that rumble, man, and it just triggers me.
PTSD initiated.
I don't know what happened to the other 76, because I did see him kind of wandering down the main road here. I'm not sure if he went off somewhere that I don't see, or if he died. Because the only one I see right now on the Alpha side is here. I'm sure... Yep, there's one driving up here through artillery battery.
If I'm Alpha right now, I'm committing all of my tanks to defense. Because at this point, whether they know it or not, Sin might have a slight tank advantage.
Oh, there he is. So there is 276s still here.
Yeah, never mind. So it's gonna be 3v3.
He just took a hit though, so... Oh. So here's a Stuka.
Something blew up also.
There you go.
Nailed it. Yep.
So the 76 kills the Tiger. Stuka kills the 76. We see another trade. On the aggregate, at least. Another trade. So Alpha with one tank in play, another one on the way. Syndicate basically the same.
How did they get back here though? I guess they could have pushed around that north edge, but that's going to be really scary for the Sin tankers.
So this Tiger did go down. I wonder if that was infantry. I'm guessing so. So does that mean... Yeah, we went from 3 Syndicate tanks getting stacked to all of a sudden 1 without a tank commander and potentially without an engine right now. As another AT comes. Oh boy.
This isn't gonna feel good for Sin.
That might be the fastest. I don't know. I don't want to make big, bold proclamations, but they lost 3 tanks pretty fucking fast. As we see cap progress coming in on Western, let's revisit there if I can fucking find it. Not sure how there was cap progress, but Syndicate has apparently responded. I'm going to look at the map again because we looked just a couple minutes ago, and there was a Tiger here, a Tiger here, and a Tiger driving out of spawn. They're all dead. And it's kind of tough because look at this push now. They're starting to get infantry close to hospice.
Yeah, the infantry is looking really good now. If they had the 3 tanks, this would be the time you say, let's do this, let's push.
Someone would be calling Bonsai
Go.
in chat. So the 276s, and there was a 3rd. Not sure if he's made it yet. That's a medium. I'm just kind of panning around trying to see, because I thought we had the one... Oh, sorry, one of the 76s died. Good. So these are the 276s that we have up, plus they're pulling up a medium. That's probably what you're going to see for armor then for the rest, because we're starting to get close to the time where you're not going to have time to bring a tank up, except maybe a light tank or a recon. Airhead.
Here's the airhead.
This is a Syndicate airhead. It appears to be a naked airhead. I'm not sure if they had control when he called it in, but they don't have control of this area now. Yeah. So.
And that was short-lived.
76 is being bold.
This is not
Very
the play
bold.
right now.
Very bold. Why? I mean, why? Maybe he can get it off?
They're getting out.
He's calling for help. Oh!
Oh!
Why? Oh my god, that's unfortunate. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'd hate to be in that Discord call right now. Sorry, I'd love to be in that Discord call right now. Except I don't speak Mandarin.
They are deciding which gulag to send him to.
That was incredibly stupid.
Well, I think he was trying to shoot over the wall and get the spawn, but I don't know what he shot. He obviously didn't think he was gonna kill his guys, but he was obviously extremely, extremely wrong. We'll see if it makes a difference here. I'm gonna peep the map one more time. We do see him kind of tightening around here, even though there is no garrison in this area. So
Alpha's gonna reestablish it here.
yeah, there he goes. Okay, so they do get a launch garrison back up if their OPs go down. Check one more time, because I want to see if they're going to try for any tanks. I don't see any tanks coming. So, the one light tank here. One Luke's against the world.
See, this is the time the airhead would have been very good, I feel.
Well, look at this north side. There's nobody in this wheat field. I mean, if you have information, like, you could, like, tuck it over here, maybe, or something. I mean, obviously, like, with the Skycam, you get a big benefit, but look, there's nobody here on this north side.
Yeah, I mean, with commanding and comp, you typically are going to hold those airheads for infantry-supported pushes, and I think we were trying to figure out if they had control of that area when the airhead was dropped, but they certainly have control of it now, right? This would be a great time for an airhead, but it's already used up.
Yeah, so 4 minutes on the clock, meaning 2 minutes left before they have to start capping. They're as close as they've been since they lost Hospice. But I think, is this the medium that went down? Yeah, the medium tank just died. I mean, there's 176 and a Stewart for Alpha. So this is not unovercomable. Oh, there's a second 76 arriving.
For sure.
76 arriving. That's going to be difficult. But they're right on the doorstep here. Look at all the blue that's flooding in here.
Yeah, this is right at the range where the level 9 assault from the Germans shines here too. So
there's a defensive bombing run coming in. Not really hitting much over there.
Alpha bringing 2 guys behind here might clear a lot of spawns. If this engineer doesn't kill that engineer for Alpha.
I'm gonna swing over to our familiar angle here, just so we can see all the way down the street.
You might see cap progress start here, but the tanks are gonna make it difficult for
You have
for
55 seconds, and if those tanks drive into the hard cap and the commander drops reinforce, yeah, those tanks might die eventually. Precision strike just used on.
It's true. Reinforce probably is already down, I imagine. You want to drop that at 4 minutes if you got it.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but sure.
Well, you don't want them to start cap progress, right? Once 2 minutes is left on the clock, so reinforce lasts for 2 minutes. You drop it at 4 minutes and they can't start the progress before the 2-minute mark, you're good.
Yep. Those are all factual statements. And there you go. We crossed the 2-minute mark and no cap progress. That's unfortunately going to be the end for Syndicate in this match and this tournament. I mean, we'll
GG.
We'll take a look at the map. I mean, they did a good job to get to this point. It was just unfortunate. I mean, you wonder what might have happened if those 3 heavies don't go down like that, all in a short period of time, and if maybe this infantry support was infantry push, excuse me, was supported by a group of tanks. You know, maybe you knock off a couple 76s. Maybe you get one of your Tigers in the strong point. You know, you never really know. Just really unfortunate timing. Right as the infantry push started to kind of become real, all the tanks go down. Bad timing.
That's what this game is setting up moments of perfect coordination, right?
I'm going to take a look through here just to capture the scores for anybody that's interested before people start to leave. Not going to see who on Alpha. I don't see any. So here's the highest I see this. Probably Artie, because I only see one, or no, maybe it's an IR tank crew playing with Alpha in the 800s. We see a 700 individual tank crew, and I think the rest of the Syndicate guys are in infantry right now. But there you go. Alpha 3-2 over Syndicate. Close match though. I think that was a good one.
So Alpha will move on to face the Line next week in the top of the losers bracket.
And that will be for the, so the winner of this match, Alpha, plays TL, the Line, next week. And then the following week, the winner of that TL Alpha match will play 82nd Airborne Division, 82 AD, in the HCA Minor Final. So there you go. Any final thoughts on the match there?
You can see the chat, they're screaming about the ping. I don't know, it was a good match. A lot of things went right for Alpha in order to take that point. It's hard to do as allies once you lose that initially. But they did it, and I think they played a tighter game with their armor and their infantry, and were able to hold on for that 3-2.
Yeah. I mean, Syndicate got the first cap, held on to it for a long time, and unfortunately just kind of got worn down by Alpha in the end, and weren't able to hold on, but still, I think, respectable effort for both teams. I think both teams played well, and yeah, I mean, we're going to see Syndicate in Seasonal. We know they're a strong team. They made it pretty far in HCA, so they're gonna take a look at this and see some things that they have to improve, and they'll be back in Seasonal. We know that for sure.
Yeah, that tournament's coming up too.
All right, well, that's it for Alpha versus Syndicate. Alpha, the 3-2 winners again. Plubes, thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking the time to actually wake up and join me when you agreed to and said you would, and like Twist, who I don't want to joke too much about it because I hope everything's all right, but he was supposed to join us, he wasn't able to. We'll see, but thank you, Ploobs, and thank you everybody for joining us. Hope you enjoyed Syndicate Alpha 3-2 winners, Ploobs.
Cheers, everyone, and thanks for having me, Wix.
Yep, everybody enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your weekend. Take care.